How's it going, everybody? Poser Mobile here, bringing you 25 absolute bangers that are all on sale on the PlayStation Store for the Dealmania sale that runs through March 11th. As usual, I've scoured this sale for all the full games, game bundles, and premium editions that are at the lowest price they've been in recent history, and are at least a 70 on OpenCritic or Game Rankings. So if that sounds like the kind of video you want to see, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss my daily coverage of every sale that Sony puts out. I'm trying to get to 25k by the end of the year, so every bit helps. Alright, that's enough yapping for me, let's get into the video. For $9.99, Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition is an explosive, hyper-stylish action showcase where Nero, Dante, and Virgil tear through demons with over-the-top combos and some of the most polished combat systems in the genre. You'll dive into fast, technical battles across slick gothic environments packed with flashy animations, high-speed movement options, and escalating encounters that reward precision, creativity, and pure spectacle. It's an 88 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 8 out of 10, and about 70 hours to platinum. For $8.74, Hades is a razor-sharp roguelike dungeon crawler where Zagreus, the prince of the underworld, fights to escape his father's realm using fluid combat, powerful god-granted abilities, and endlessly variable builds that make every run feel exciting and unpredictable. You'll carve through shifting biomes, stack synergistic boons from the Olympians, and uncover new layers of story each time you fall and rise again. It's a 94 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. For $9.99, Cult of the Lamb is a darkly charming roguelike management game where you play as a possessed lamb building a devoted cult, spreading your influence and crushing heretics across an ever-changing world. Explore procedurally generated regions, collect resources, perform rituals, and train your woodland followers, all while embarking on dangerous crusades that blend combat, exploration, and clever, tactical decision-making. It's an 84 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. For $5.99, The Forest is a first-person survival horror where you play as the lone survivor of a plane crash, struggling to stay alive in a mysterious forest inhabited by a society of cannibalistic mutants. You'll scavenge food, craft weapons, and build shelters ranging from small camps to sprawling oceanfront fortresses, all while exploring a vast network of caves, underground lakes, and dynamic environments filled with hidden dangers. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 55 hours to platinum. For $9.99, Cat Quest 3 is a whimsical 2.5D open-world action RPG where you play a swashbuckling privateer exploring the pirate-themed Caribbean in search of the legendary Northern Star. Sail your ship across vibrant seas, battle hordes of pirates, and use a refined combat system with tight combos, weapon swapping, ferocious spells, and environmental interactions, all playable solo or in local co-op with friends. It's an 82 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $7.99, Final Fantasy VIII Remastered is a classic JRPG set during a time of war, following Squall Leonhardt and the elite Seed mercenaries as they oppose the tyrannical forces of Galbadia and the sorceress Edea. Join forces with Rinoa and allies to navigate political conflict, shifting loyalties, and a sweeping sci-fi fantasy narrative that blends personal relationships with world-altering stakes across multiple nations and timelines. It's an 89 on Game Rankings, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 45 hours to platinum. For $7.49, Infamous First Light is a stylish open-world action-adventure that follows a superpowered inmate forced to confront tragedies from her past while navigating the dangerous streets of Seattle. You'll unleash devastating neon-based powers, scale city rooftops, and battle enemies in intense, high-octane combat while unraveling Fetch's dark secrets, seeking vengeance, and facing morally complex choices that shape her story. It's a 76 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $9.99, Terraria puts the entire world at your fingertips, blending survival, exploration, and limitless creativity into a unique, action-packed sandbox adventure full of discovery, danger, and endless possibilities. Dig through expansive caverns, battle hundreds of enemies, and gather thousands of resources to craft powerful weapons, armor, and items, while shaping the world around you with your own constructions and ingenious mechanisms. It's an 83 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. For $7.99, Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons remake is a beautifully reimagined adventure where two siblings embark on a heartfelt journey to find the fabled water of life and save their ailing father. Rebuilt with modern visuals, enhanced performance, and a fully re-recorded orchestral soundtrack, this remake preserves the original's touching narrative while enriching every scene with sharper detail and more cinematic presentation. It's an 87 on Game Rankings, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 5 hours to platinum. For $9.99, Assetto Corsa Competizione is a deep GT3 and GT4 racing simulator featuring laser-scanned tracks, advanced physics, and fully licensed teams and cars for a lifelike racing experience. Its detailed tire modeling, aerodynamic systems, and realistic mechanical damage make every lap intense, especially in endurance events where weather shifts and nighttime driving constantly challenge your precision. It's a 75 on OpenCritic, and unfortunately there's 3 broken trophies preventing the Platinum from being obtainable. For $9.99, DmC Devil May Cry Definitive Edition is a high-octane action game where you play as Dante, mastering stylish combos and wielding up to 8 unique weapons to battle through the chaotic, demonic realm of Limbo. This Definitive Edition includes enhanced 1080p graphics at 60 FPS, all original DLC, and new features that enrich combat, traversal, and story, delivering a seamless, adrenaline-fueled experience full of intensity and excitement. It's an 84 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. For $9.59, Ni no Kuni 2 Revenant Kingdom is a story-driven RPG that follows young King Evan on a heroic quest to rebuild his kingdom, unite his world, and protect its people from looming dark forces. You'll explore an animated world that seamlessly blends cinematic storytelling with engaging gameplay, battle fantastical creatures in strategic real-time combat, and manage kingdom-building elements that shape the fate of your realm. It's an 87 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 85 hours to platinum. For $8.74, Pathologic 2 is a narrative-driven dramatic thriller where you take on the role of the town's new chief healer, racing against time to combat a deadly plague while navigating a collapsing rural society filled with paranoia, distrust, and hidden agendas. You'll explore a desolate, atmospheric town, seek out unexpected allies, and make impossible choices that determine who lives and who dies, all within a strict 12-day timeline. It's a 70 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $5.99, Shadow of the Tomb Raider Definitive Edition is a cinematic action-adventure that concludes Lara Croft's origin story as she battles to stop a Maya apocalypse and become the Tomb Raider she's destined to be. Explore dense jungles and hidden tombs, master stealth-based combat and traversal, and take on all 7 DLC challenge tombs alongside additional weapons, outfits, and skills in the most complete version of her defining journey. It's an 80 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $8.99, Assassin's Creed Syndicate is an open-world action-adventure set in Industrial Revolution-era London, where twin assassins fight to free the city from corruption and ruthless industrial barons. You'll lead a growing underworld empire, recruiting allies, toppling rival gangs, and using stealth, brutal melee combat, and dynamic parkour to liberate each district from Templar control and reclaim the city's streets. It's a 77 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 35 hours to platinum. For $9.99, Midnight Fight Express is a hyperkinetic, fast-paced action brawler where players control a former underworld operative lured back into the city's criminal chaos by a mysterious AI drone. Fight across levels using melee, firearms, and environmental weapons, level up skills through a combat tree, and unleash devastating combos, takedowns, and brutal street brawls while exploring neon-lit streets and customizing your appearance. It's a 76 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. For $9.99, Final Fantasy X and X-2 HD Remaster brings 2 of the most beloved RPGs of their generation to PS4 with remastered graphics, updated audio, and polished gameplay that preserves the heart of the originals. You'll follow the journeys of Titus, Yuna, and their friends across stunning high-definition environments while engaging in strategic turn-based combat and experiencing 2 epic stories. It's an 89 average on game rankings, average trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 240 hours to get both platinums. For $5.99, Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate is the definitive fighting game experience, combining 2 critically acclaimed, time-bending story campaigns with a full, complete roster of 37 characters. Battle through Towers of Time, The Crypt, Classic Towers, or online modes while reliving epic clashes with all previous guest fighters like Terminator, Joker, Spawn, and RoboCop, with Combat Pack 1, Aftermath Expansion, and Combat Pack 2 all included. It's an 89 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 60 hours to platinum. For $7.99, Star Wars Bounty Hunter is a third-person action-adventure that puts you in the armored boots of Jango Fett as he tracks down a dangerous Dark Jedi across the galaxy's criminal underworld before the events of Episode 2. Take on high-flying acrobatic battles, utilize gadgets like dual blasters and a flamethrower, and hunt targets through spaceports and industrial strongholds in this optimized classic built for modern consoles. It's a 70 on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $7.99, Darksiders Genesis is a top-down action-adventure that follows War and Strife as they hunt Lucifer and his minions, battling demons and unraveling a twisted conspiracy that threatens the delicate balance of creation. Swap between War's brutal melee attacks and Strife's agile ranged gunplay, tackle handcrafted levels solo or in seamless 2-player co-op, and upgrade abilities to survive increasingly challenging encounters in Hell. It's a 78 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, about 35 hours to platinum. For $7.99, Final Fantasy Type 0 HD is an action RPG where you control Class 0, 14 elite students from a prestigious military academy, as they fight to defend their homeland from a brutal, relentless invading empire bent on total conquest. Switch between characters in real-time combat, harness unique abilities and devastating magic, and experience a dark, war-torn world full of strategy, political intrigue, and high-stakes battles. It's a 72 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. For $9.89, Blasphemous 2 is a dark, gothic action platformer where the penitent one awakens in a new, twisted land, bound once more to the endless cycle of life, death, and penance within a cruel, unforgiving world. You'll traverse sprawling, non-linear regions, uncover hidden secrets, and battle through a nightmarish procession of monstrous enemies and colossal bosses that test both reflex and resolve in thrilling, punishing combat. It's an 84 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $9.89, Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy is a courtroom adventure where you step into the shoes of Phoenix Wright to defend innocent clients, investigate crime scenes, and uncover the truth across 14 episodes spanning the first 3 games. You'll gather evidence, cross-examine witnesses, and piece together complex cases while navigating clever story twists, engaging dialogue, and tense trial sequences. It's an 82 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. For $7.49, The Wolf Among Us is a choice-driven narrative adventure set in a dark reimagining of the Fables universe, where fairy tale characters live in secret within the modern world, hiding dangerous truths and buried sins. You play as Bigby Wolf, investigating brutal murders while navigating morally gray decisions, tense interrogations, and a hard-boiled noir mystery where both what you choose and when you choose it can dramatically alter events. It's an 80 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 1 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $9.99, Everybody's Golf is a lighthearted, accessible golf game where you can swing, putt, and drive your way through creatively designed courses using just 3 button clicks, with colorful environments, playful character designs, and relaxing yet engaging gameplay. While online servers are shut down, all single-player offline modes remain fully playable, letting you enjoy golf your way at your own pace. It's a 78 on OpenCritic, and there's a number of broken trophies making the platinum unobtainable. For $5.99, Injustice 2 Legendary Edition is the ultimate version of NetherRealm's DC fighting game, packing the full base roster along with all downloadable content characters and premier skins. Continue the cinematic story as Batman clashes with Superman's regime, earn gear after every match to customize and evolve your fighters, and battle across iconic DC locations using deep combo systems and character-specific abilities. It's an 87 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. For $7.49, Pools is an atmospheric exploration experience that feels like wandering through a surreal art gallery of endless, echoing pool rooms with no UI, dialogue, or traditional story to guide you. Drift through 6 unique chapters inspired by liminal spaces and backroom-style environments, navigate maze-like corridors where shifting architecture subtly changes around you, and absorb immersive environmental audio. It's a 78 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 5 hours to platinum. For $7.99, Doom Eternal is an adrenaline-fueled first-person shooter that casts you as the Doomslayer, humanity's ultimate warrior, battling hellish forces across Earth and other dimensions. Move at lightning speed and wield a devastating arsenal to obliterate hordes of demons, while using the unholy trinity of combat, glory kills for health, incineration for armor, and chainsaw executions for ammo, to survive ever-escalating waves of enemies. It's an 89 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $5.09, Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen is an action RPG where you explore the vast open world of Grancis in 1080p HD, taking on fearsome enemies with dynamic combat and fully customizable abilities for every playstyle. You'll choose from 9 unique classes, command 3 AI companions called pawns, and use climbing, grappling, and magical skills to engage gigantic creatures up close while exploring diverse environments. It's an 80 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 90 hours to platinum. For $7.49, the Evil Within digital bundle includes the full game plus all Season Pass content, the Assignment, the Consequence, and the Executioner packs, delivering intense, chilling survival horror from Shinji Mikami and Tango Gameworks. Navigate terrifying, highly crafted environments, manage scarce resources, and face relentless threats while uncovering a tension-filled story that perfectly blends action, fear, and psychological dread. It's a 73 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 9 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. For $9.99, GreedFall Gold Edition is a sprawling, critically acclaimed RPG that blends exploration, diplomacy, and supernatural intrigue on a remote island full of magic, treasures, and fantastical creatures. Its deep character customization, branching storylines, and expanded Gold Edition content, including the Divest Conspiracy expansion, create a rich, engaging, and strategic experience that rewards careful choices. It's a 74 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 60 hours to platinum. For $7.49, Eternights is a dating action RPG that blends a heartfelt, character-driven love story with fast-paced, anime-inspired combat, challenging you to make the most of your time during a world-ending apocalypse. Scavenge supplies between deadlines, explore dungeons, battle infected in real-time encounters, and deepen bonds with 5 quirky companions to unlock powerful skills, hidden story routes, and unique relationship events. It's a 72 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $5.99, Zero Escape, the Nonary Games, includes 2 gripping nonary games, each featuring 9 unwilling participants kidnapped to unfamiliar, high-stakes, perilous locations. One group is trapped on a sinking boat with only 9 hours to escape, while the other is locked in a mysterious facility and forced to trust or betray each other under life and death pressure, with death inevitable if the rules are broken or they fail entirely. It's an 85 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $5.74, Guacamelee 2 Complete delivers the full Metroidvania experience, including the base game and both DLC packs for a complete, action-packed, colorful, and humor-filled adventure full of surprises and chaotic fun. The 3 Enemigos character pack adds game-changing costumes, while the Proving Grounds challenge level offers brutal tests and rich rewards, making this edition the ultimate, fully loaded Guacamelee experience. It's an 86 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $9.99, The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners is a VR survival horror adventure set in walker-infested New Orleans, where you fight, sneak, scavenge, and survive while unraveling a citywide mystery shaped by your choices. Explore a free-roaming city, craft makeshift weapons and tools from scrap, and use stealth or brute force to deal with both the living and the dead, with spatial audio making every sound a potential death sentence. It's an 83 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $9.99, Persona 4 Golden is a critically acclaimed JRPG that blends supernatural mystery, turn-based combat, and life simulation, placing you in the shoes of a high school student in the rural town of Inaba as a series of bizarre murders unfold. Explore otherworldly dungeons, battle monstrous shadows, and confront the darker sides of yourself while building meaningful friendships and making choices that shape your story. It's a 94 on Game Rankings, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 125 hours to platinum. For $7.49, Toejam and Earl Back in the Groove is a funky roguelike adventure that revives the iconic 90s duo as they crash land on Earth and scramble to rebuild the shattered Rapmaster rocket. Explore procedurally generated levels solo or in 4-player co-op, experiment with unpredictable presence while dodging bizarre Earthlings, and choose from 9 playable characters while grooving to a soundtrack packed with fresh funk tracks. It's a 72 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $5.99, Trine 4 The Nightmare Prince is a 2.5D fantasy action platformer that reunites Amadeus the Wizard, Pontius the Knight, and Zoya the Thief on a quest to save Prince Celius from nightmares manifesting into reality. Traverse fairy tale landscapes using physics-based puzzle solving, fluid character switching combat that blends magic, swordplay, and stealth archery, and drop-in local or online co-op that lets up to 4 players combine abilities. It's an 80 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $7.99, Knack 2 is a family-friendly action platformer where a small relic-powered hero can grow massive or shrink tiny to save the world from revived ancient weapons and colossal titans threatening humanity. You'll smash through dynamic environments using abilities like boomerangs, body slams, and multi-bombs, solve environmental puzzles, and collect relics to power up while shifting sizes to cleverly overcome enemies and obstacles. It's a 72 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $5.99, Don't Starve Together is a challenging multiplayer survival game where you gather resources, craft gear, and fight strange creatures while enduring a harsh, unpredictable world full of danger, mystery, and ever-changing seasonal threats. Explore massive procedurally generated biomes, battle towering seasonal giants, and build bases that evolve into fortified hubs shaped by your team's creativity and chaotic emergent moments. It's a 78 on Game Rankings, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 80 hours to platinum. For $5.99, Circus Electrique is a steampunk tactical RPG set in an alternate history London, where only a troupe of circus performers can stop citizens mysteriously turning into murderous fiends. Assemble a roster of unique archetypes like strongmen, fireblowers, and clowns for turn-based battles, manage your circus between missions to boost income and performance quality, and fight across districts filled with twisted Victorian-era foes. It's a 72 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. For $7.99, Unsighted is a fast-paced Metroidvania where you play as an automaton racing against a dwindling timer to save friends from becoming mindless killing machines in a post-apocalyptic world. You'll explore the interconnected city of Arcadia filled with shortcuts and secrets, craft and slot ability-enhancing chips to customize combat and traversal, and make time-sensitive choices that shape NPC survival and multiple endings. It's an 86 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 8 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $9.99, Assetto Corsa Ultimate Edition is a complete racing simulator package that includes the base game plus every major DLC expansion and update released. Drive laser-scanned cars modeled from real telemetry data across legendary circuits with 33 different configurations, fine-tune handling and race setups through a deeply advanced physics engine, and compete in robust single-player championships or online multiplayer events. It's a 77 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 10 out of 10, and about 200 hours to platinum. For $5.99, Darksiders War Mastered Edition is an action-adventure epic where you play as War, the first horseman of the apocalypse, falsely accused of triggering the end of the world and sent back to a ruined Earth to uncover the truth behind Heaven and Hell's betrayal. The War Mastered release enhances the experience with native 1080p resolution, improved textures and lighting, refined effects, and a smooth 60 FPS performance. It's an 83 on Game Rankings, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $9.89, World War Z is a co-op third-person zombie shooter, sending squads of survivors across global hotspots as humanity teeters on the brink of extinction. Fight through story-driven campaigns in New York, Moscow, and Jerusalem, battling massive hordes of hundreds of undead, leveling up 6 distinct classes with deep weapon upgrades, and diving into intense 4v4 PvPvZ modes that mix player combat with relentless zombie waves. It's a 71 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 150 hours to platinum. For $7.49, Tchia is a vibrant open-world adventure where you explore a tropical archipelago to rescue your father from the tyrant Miavora, climbing, gliding, and sailing through lush islands. Take control of animals and objects with Tchia's soul-jumping ability, solve physics-based puzzles, tackle combat encounters against fabric soldiers, and customize your boat and outfits while uncovering mystical totems and totem shrine challenges. It's a 78 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $9.59, Dragon Ball FighterZ is a fast, flashy 3v3 fighting game that perfectly captures the explosive battles and iconic characters of the Dragon Ball universe with incredible authenticity and non-stop visual flair. Blending stunning anime-style visuals with easy-to-learn but hard-to-master mechanics, it lets you build dream teams, pull off high-speed tag combos, and battle across competitive ranked play, casual lobbies, and party matches. It's an 86 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 70 hours to platinum. For $5.99, Submerged Hidden Depths is a non-combat third-person exploration adventure set in the partially submerged ruins of a once great city now reclaimed by nature and mysterious forces. Guide Miku and Taku across calm and stormy waters in a small boat, climb crumbling skyscrapers and other remnants of civilization, and collect vital seeds to restore the city while uncovering the story of its tragic past and the powers that bind the siblings. It's a 73 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 1 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $6.24, Tinykin is an action-adventure platformer where Milo finds himself shrunk to ant size in a world frozen in 1991, teaming up with a mysterious Tinykin to navigate a sprawling, insect-populated metropolis. Use over 100 Tinykin with unique powers to create ladders, bridges, and explosions, explore cities built by ants and beetles, and collect upgrades to improve his bubble pack and complete the enigmatic Rid-Me machine. It's an 82 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, about 10 hours to platinum. For $5.99, Star Wars Jedi Knight Jedi Academy is a classic Star Wars action-adventure where you step into the shoes of a new Jedi student training under Luke Skywalker, mastering the Force and lightsaber combat while shaping your destiny. Customize your character's appearance and lightsaber, explore iconic Star Wars locations, and compete online with up to 16 players across modes like Siege, Capture the Flag, and Free-for-All. It's a 78 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $7.99, The Evil Within 2 is an atmospheric survival horror following Detective Sebastian Castellanos as he descends once again into the warped world of STEM to rescue his lost daughter. The decaying cityscape constantly shifts between dream and nightmare, testing your sanity as grotesque creatures lurk in the dark and twisted memories resurface, all while you explore semi-open environments filled with hidden dangers. It's an 80 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 8 out of 10, and about 45 hours to platinum. For $5.99, Wolfenstein 2 The New Colossus is an intense, story-driven first-person shooter that follows war hero BJ Blazkowicz as he fights to free Nazi-occupied America. Set in an alternate 1961, you'll rally the resistance and ignite a revolution across devastated cities, rural strongholds, and secret Nazi facilities, unleashing devastating dual-wield weapons and enhanced combat abilities to tear through soldiers, mechs, and monstrosities. It's an 87 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 10 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. For $5.99, Prey is a deeply atmospheric sci-fi thriller that strands you aboard Talos 1, a massive, high-tech research station orbiting the moon in 2032. You awaken as the central subject of a dangerous experiment gone horribly wrong, unleashing a shape-shifting alien threat known as the Typhon that turns every corridor, lab, and maintenance shaft into a deadly, unpredictable maze, all while you explore the sprawling, interconnected station. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 45 hours to platinum. For $5.99, Shadow of War Definitive Edition is an open-world action RPG where you forge a new ring of power, lead a personal orc army, and conquer fortresses across Mordor using the award-winning Nemesis system. You'll engage in massive battles while recruiting and dominating enemy orcs, develop powerful abilities, and explore a richly detailed, dynamic world filled with challenging enemies, side missions, and evolving threats. It's an 82 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. For $8.99, Sakura Wars is a vibrant action-adventure and dating sim hybrid set in an alternate 1940s steampunk Tokyo, where the Imperial Combat Revue defends the city from invading demonic forces threatening all of humanity. As newly appointed captain Seijiro Kamiyama, you'll lead the struggling Flower Division by building trust, improving morale, and rekindling their fighting spirit through heartfelt interactions and emotional choices. It's a 73 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. For $6.29, Star Ocean First Departure R is a classic JRPG where you join Roddick and his friends as they set out from the peaceful town of Kratos to save a neighboring village struck by a mysterious petrifying disease. You'll explore vibrant planets, engage in real-time combat, and uncover a sprawling sci-fi story filled with unexpected twists, ancient powers, and interstellar intrigue, all while managing party growth and strategic combat. It's a 76 on Game Rankings, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. For $8.99, Gone Home is a first-person narrative exploration game set in 1995, casting you as a young woman returning from overseas to an empty rural Oregon home where her family has mysteriously vanished. Search through detailed rooms at your own pace, examine handwritten notes and personal belongings to piece together story threads, and uncover what happened through environmental storytelling. It's an 85 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 5 hours to 100%, no platinum for this one. For $9.99, Valkyrie Profile Lenneth is an emotionally charged RPG steeped in Norse mythology, blending divine storytelling, character-driven drama, and beautifully orchestrated combat in one of the most beloved classics of its era. As the battle maiden Lenneth, you descend from Valhalla to recruit the souls of fallen warriors, uncovering their tragic pasts, unlocking secrets, and forging their destinies as you prepare for Ragnarok. It's an 84 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $5.99, Zone of the Enders, The Second Runner Mars is a high-speed mech action game remastered in stunning 4K with full VR support, delivering an adrenaline-pumping sci-fi experience from the cockpit of the legendary orbital frame. Set in the year 2174, you'll battle across Mars and Earth, unleashing powerful melee and ranged attacks and fast, cinematic combat that blends fluid movement with explosive spectacle and intense strategy. It's an 83 on Game Rankings, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $9.99, the Dark Pictures anthology Little Hope is a cinematic horror adventure where 4 college students and their professor become trapped in a fog-shrouded town, facing terrifying visions tied to the 17th century Andover witch trials. You'll make critical choices that branch the story, evade relentless supernatural apparitions, and play solo or in online and local co-op, all while uncovering dark secrets that threaten each character's soul. It's a 73 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $9.99, Bayonetta and Vanquish 10th Anniversary Bundle is a remastered dual pack celebrating Platinum Games' stylish action legacy, bringing together the original Bayonetta and the high-speed sci-fi shooter Vanquish in one explosive bundle. Unleash Bayonetta's over-the-top combo-driven combat, then switch to DARPA agent Sam Gideon in Vanquish to slide boost across battlefields using the blade system. It's an 82 average on OpenCritic, average trophy difficulty around 8 out of 10, and about 55 hours to get both platinums. For $5.99, Mafia 2 Definitive Edition is a remastered crime action game set in 1940s to 50s Empire Bay, where war hero Vito Scaletta becomes entangled with the mob to pay his father's debts and rise through the criminal ranks. Explore a sprawling post-war city teeming with opportunity and organized crime, engaging in high-stakes heist and morally complex missions that capture the allure and danger of the Golden Era Mafia. It's a 76 on game rankings, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $5.99, Danganronpa, Another Episode, Ultra Despair Girls, is a third-person action spin-off where Komaro Naegi and Toko Fukawa fight to survive a child-led revolution in the despair-ridden streets of Toa City. Use Kamaru's hacking gun to disable and manipulate murderous Monokuma robots, switch to Toko's Genocide Jack persona for frantic close-quarters combat, and unravel the dark secrets of the Warriors of Hope. It's a 73 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $8.99, Persona 4 Arena Ultimax is a high-octane fighting game spin-off from the beloved Persona series, where heroes battle waves of shadows in the intense P1 Climax tournament. Featuring a deep roster of playable characters, including Persona 3 fan favorites and Shadow versions, players can master a variety of fighting styles, learn intricate combos, and execute powerful Persona skills in fast-paced, strategic matches. It's a 79 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. For $9.59, God Eater 3 is an action-packed RPG where you hunt massive origami monsters using a versatile arsenal of God Arcs, each offering unique combat styles, devastating attacks, and strategic depth. Master new abilities like burst arts, dive-dash attacks, and evolved ground, air, and step techniques to dominate fearsome foes, while facing the terrifying Ash origami who utilize Devour attacks and enter burst mode. It's a 73 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. For $9.99, Persona 3 Portable is a remastered, critically acclaimed RPG that redefined the Persona series, placing you in the shoes of a high school student who awakens a persona during the mysterious Dark Hour. Battle shadows, climb the towering dungeon of Tartarus, and uncover the truth behind this eerie, hidden time, while forming deep social bonds with unforgettable characters and navigating complex relationships. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 80 hours to platinum. For $5.99, Dishonored: Death of the Outsider is a stealth action adventure where you play Billy Lurk, a former killer-for-hire reunited with mentor Dodd, embarking on the ultimate assassination mission to eliminate the godlike outsider. Explore the grimy streets, rooftops, and hidden alleys of Karnaka, use supernatural abilities and inventive gadgets to outwit deadly opponents, and make morally complex decisions that shape the fate of the city. It's an 82 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $7.49, 428 Shibuya Scramble is a live-action visual novel thriller where a single kidnapping in Tokyo's Shibuya district intertwines the fates of 5 wildly different protagonists over the course of one chaotic day. Shift between characters like a hot-blooded detective and a part-timer in a cat costume, make choices that branch into possible endings, and experience the story through a unique blend of text, live-action stills, and video sequences. It's an 85 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 35 hours to platinum. For $9.59, Soul Calibur 6 is a weapons-based fighting game that delivers intense, skill-driven combat with all-new mechanics like Reversal Edge to block and counterattack, and Soul Charge to turn the tide of battle with precision and timing. Wield lethal hits, perform devastating combos, and face fearsome opponents across a variety of single-player modes, including a story mode revisiting the 16th century events of the original Soul Calibur. It's an 84 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $9.99, Dead Rising 4 Frank's Big Package is an open-world zombie action-adventure that brings Frank West back to Willamette in the most complete edition, packing in all DLC and bonus content with no time limits holding you back. Explore a massive holiday-themed sandbox full of undead hordes and craft outrageous combo weapons and exosuits to mow down enemies, all while snapping photos to uncover clues and boost rewards. It's a 72 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 150 hours to platinum. For $9.99, AI The Somnium Files Nirvana Initiative is a gripping visual novel and investigative thriller where players step into the shoes of special agents aided by AI partners to solve the bizarre half-body serial killings. Explore crime scenes, interrogate suspects, and dive into the surreal Somnium worlds to uncover hidden memories, piece together evidence, and unravel the dark mysteries behind the enigmatic Nirvana Initiative. It's an 86 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 30 hours to platinum. For $7.99, Outriders is a 1-to-3 player co-op RPG shooter set in a dark, desperate sci-fi universe where humanity struggles to survive on the hostile planet Enoch against mutated creatures, brutal insurgents, and warring factions. Create and customize your own Outrider with one of 4 distinct classes, unleash devastating abilities alongside aggressive gunplay, and explore forests, mountains, deserts, and war-torn wastelands. It's a 73 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. For $7.99, Trackmania Turbo is an arcade racing game built around blistering speed, precision driving, and gravity-defying track design across wildly creative environments. Race through 4 distinct settings, tackle up to 200 campaign tracks across 5 difficulty levels, and jump into online competition, double driver co-op with 2 players controlling 1 car, or the robust track builder to create and share your own insane courses. It's a 78 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 9 out of 10, and about 70 hours to platinum. For $6.74, Ultimate Chicken Horse is a chaotic party platformer where you and your friends build levels and compete to reach the goal first. Players set traps, jump across moving platforms, and outsmart opponents in hazard-filled stages like the farm, iceberg, and pyramids, navigating tricky jumps, avoiding spikes and arrows, and exploiting interactive elements that make every round unpredictable, tense, and hilariously chaotic. It's a 79 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 1 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $7.99, Tacoma is a first-person narrative exploration game set aboard an abandoned space station where you investigate the fate of crew members through advanced augmented reality recordings. Rewind and fast-forward through holographic scenes to follow multiple character storylines, explore the corridors of the Tacoma station at your own pace, and piece together an interwoven mystery about corporate control and survival in orbit. It's a 77 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 5 hours to platinum. For $8.99, Team Sonic Racing is a vibrant arcade kart racer where Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and the rest of the crew compete in high-speed team-based races across iconic tracks from the Sonic universe. Drift through courses like Wisp Circuit and Booze House while using slingshot drafting behind teammates, sharing item boxes to keep your squad stocked with power-ups, and unleashing powerful Team Ultimate abilities to surge past rival teams. It's a 74 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $7.99, Rage 2 is an open-world first-person shooter where you play as Walker, the last ranger of the wasteland, fighting to overthrow the tyrannical authority after an asteroid devastates Earth. Tear across deserts and ruined highways using powerful nanotrite abilities, chaotic gunplay, and explosive vehicle combat, while battling gangs like the Goons and hunting down the authority's war machine across the wasteland. It's a 71 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $9.89, Ghosts and Goblins Resurrection is a brutally challenging action platformer where Knight Arthur battles through the demon realm to rescue the kidnapped princess from the Demon Lord's dark and monstrous forces. Fight through eerie stages using classic weapons like the lance and spike ball, learning powerful magic, and mastering precise jumps while relentless enemies tear away Arthur's armor piece by piece. It's a 75 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 6 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $8.99, Zonky Zero Last Beginning is a post-apocalyptic survival RPG where you experience the story through the POV of 8 protagonists, each struggling to uncover their past and survive in a deadly world. Explore ruins, dungeons, and islands while hunting for materials, crafting items, and fending off monsters in real-time combat, all while managing basic needs like sleeping, eating, and bathroom breaks to avoid fatal consequences. It's a 74 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 60 hours to platinum. For $7.49, Jurassic World Evolution is a dinosaur park management simulation where you design and run your own Jurassic World, bringing prehistoric creatures to life with advanced bioengineering and customizing their behaviors and habitats. Build enclosures, manage staff, and respond to crises like dinosaur breakouts, espionage, and raging tropical storms, while keeping your guests safe, satisfied, and entertained across dynamic parks. It's a 71 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. For $8.09, Frostpunk Complete Collection is a society survival and city-building strategy game where you must lead humanity's last city through a frozen apocalypse, making impossible decisions to ensure survival. This collection includes The Last Autumn, On the Edge, and The Rifts, adding new scenarios, mechanics, technologies, and story-driven challenges that deepen the Frostpunk experience and push your leadership to the extreme. It's an 86 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 9 out of 10, and about 100 hours to platinum. For $5.99, Everything is a contemplative, AI-driven interactive experience where every object you see, from animals to planets to entire galaxies, can become your perspective and imagination. Travel seamlessly between inner and outer space and experiment with changing forms to create intricate worlds within worlds, or let the universe unfold on its own in a procedurally generated simulation filled with surprises and cosmic interconnectedness. It's a 73 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. For $9.99, Amnesia The Bunker is a first-person horror game from the creators of Soma and Amnesia, plunging you into a desolate World War I bunker armed with only one bullet and a noisy dynamo flashlight as you confront oppressive, nightmarish terrors lurking in the dark. Play as French soldier Henri Clement, scavenging scarce supplies, crafting tools, and navigating a semi-open bunker that changes with every playthrough. It's a 77 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty round 3 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $5.99, Saints Row III Remastered is an over-the-top open-world action game where you lead the 3rd Street Saints in outrageous and completely unpredictable criminal escapades across Steelport. Remastered for PS5, the game features enhanced lighting, textures, and 4K resolution at a smooth 60 FPS, bringing the city's neon-soaked streets and wild environments to life with unprecedented clarity, vibrancy, and detail. It's an 85 on game rankings, trophy difficulty round 3 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. For $5.99, Just Cause 3 XXL Edition is an open-world action-adventure where you play as Rico Rodriguez, wreaking havoc across the Mediterranean island of Medici with explosive weapons, vehicles, and daring stunts. Complete story missions, tackle extra challenges from the Air, Land, and Sea expansion pass, and unleash chaos with weaponized vehicles, the Reaper missile mech, and over-the-top gadgets in a sandbox playground of destruction. It's a 75 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 100 hours to platinum. For $5.24, Before Your Eyes is an emotional, blink-controlled narrative adventure where your real-life eye movements literally shape the story as you relive cherished memories, painful moments, and the defining events of a life already ended. You'll experience a heartfelt blend of family warmth, youthful creativity, and bittersweet discovery as the ferryman guides you through scenes that shift, transform, and unravel based on every blink you make. It's an 83 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 1 out of 10, and about 5 hours to platinum. For $5.24, Black the Fall is a dark puzzle platformer where you play as an aging machinist attempting to escape the oppressive grasp of a totalitarian communist regime in a harsh, unforgiving world filled with danger. Navigate shadowy factories and grim landscapes using ingenuity, stealth, and a stolen designator tool, while befriending a small abandoned robot to overcome deadly traps and unravel the secrets of this bleak dystopian world. It's a 70 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 5 hours to platinum. For $5.99, LEGO Star Wars The Force Awakens Deluxe Edition includes the main game and season pass content, offering the full LEGO Star Wars experience across a galaxy far, far away. Relive the epic action of the blockbuster film Star Wars The Force Awakens, retold through LEGO's clever, witty, and endlessly entertaining lens, while exploring brand new story content bridging the events between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens. It's a 77 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 25 hours to platinum. For $8.99, Persona 3 Dancing in Moonlight is a rhythm game where the members of SEAS take the stage at a mysterious dance party, facing off against challenges set by an enigmatic Velvet Room resident in a vibrant, ever-changing musical world. Hit the beat to perform stylish dance routines, unlock costumes and songs from Persona 3's soundtrack, and strengthen bonds with your teammates through engaging, customizable gameplay. It's a 73 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $9.99, Have a Nice Death is a fast-paced roguelike action game where you take on the role of Death, navigating the darkly charming, procedurally generated departments of Death Inc. while wielding a deadly scythe. You'll battle relentless minions and challenging bosses, chain devastating combos, and interact with quirky characters like your pumpkin-headed assistant, all while adapting to the company's chaotic office culture. It's an 80 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 75 hours to platinum. For $7.49, The Wild at Heart is a whimsical storybook adventure where two runaway kids command a swarm of magical spritelings to explore the mysterious deep woods, uncover secrets, and restore a forgotten world. You'll gather resources, craft upgrades, and rebuild broken paths, all while solving puzzles, nurturing your spritelings, and battling supernatural foes and mischievous forest creatures in a vibrant, enchanting environment. It's an 80 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $5.99, Trigger Witch combines 16-bit action-adventure nostalgia with twin-stick shooter chaos in a world where magic's been replaced by guns and grit, filled with dangerous enemies and challenging boss encounters. You play as a young witch in training whose life is upended when a mysterious man invades her realm, sparking a bloody journey to restore balance using an ever-expanding arsenal of powerful and upgradable firearms. It's a 72 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $9.89, The Seventh Guest VR is a spine-chilling mystery adventure that reimagines the classic 90s horror game in virtual reality, fully immersing players in a hauntingly atmospheric world filled with danger, suspense, and mind-bending surprises. Explore a foreboding mansion as you uncover the dark secrets of Henry Stoff, solving increasingly complex puzzles and confronting unsettling encounters that build constant tension and dread. It's a 78 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 5 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $5.99, Sniper Elite VR is a first-person tactical shooter set in southern Italy during 1943, where you take on the role of an elite sniper fighting alongside the Italian resistance against fascist forces. Use authentic World War II weapons, navigate enemy-filled levels with free movement, and witness visceral X-ray kill-cam effects rebuilt for VR, all while completing an explosive 18-mission campaign that rewards skill and patience. It's a 74 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 8 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $7.99, Anodyne 2 Return to Dust is a unique action-adventure that blends the cinematic storytelling and scale of 3D games with the tight design and satisfying gameplay of classic 2D adventures across diverse, imaginative worlds. Play as a nano cleaner, traversing cities, valleys, and mindscapes, while shrinking inside infected islanders to remove nanodust, meeting strange characters and uncovering emotional stories. It's a 72 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 15 hours to platinum. For $5.39, Children of Zodiarcs is a tactical RPG that fuses strategic deck building with dice-driven combat, set in a dark, stylish world full of memorable characters and unpredictable encounters. Build customizable decks for heroes like Nami and Bryce, draw combat cards to unleash attacks and abilities, roll physics-based dice for bonuses, and craft dice to manipulate luck while carefully planning each move to overcome challenging battles. It's a 79 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 35 hours to platinum. For $5.99, Worms WMD is a chaotic turn-based strategy game where cartoonish worms battle across destructible 2D landscapes using an arsenal of hilarious and devastating weapons. Complete 30 challenging campaign levels, experiment with crafting, and unleash classic favorites like the Concrete Donkey or Holy Hand Grenade while mastering tactical positioning and explosive mayhem in both local and online multiplayer. It's a 78 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 7 out of 10, and about 50 hours to platinum. For $5.24, Strider is a fast-paced action platformer where you play as the elite assassin Hiryu, slicing through enemies with acrobatic precision across an interconnected world filled with hidden paths and intense boss battles. Master lightning-fast combat, wall-running, and agile maneuvers while uncovering secrets, upgrading abilities, and taking on waves of enemies in thrilling side-scrolling stages that challenge your reflexes and strategy. It's a 77 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 3 out of 10, and about 10 hours to platinum. For $8.74, Black Book is a dark, card-based RPG and adventure game where you play as a young sorceress navigating a haunting world of Slavic folklore while performing exorcisms and confronting demonic forces across rural landscapes. Collect and upgrade spell cards, summon demons to aid your journey, and strategically manage your resources as you seek the 7 seals of the Black Book to fulfill your fateful destiny. It's an 81 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 4 out of 10, and about 40 hours to platinum. For $7.49, Grow, Song of the Evertree is a relaxing world-crafting adventure where you play as the last Everhard alchemist, tasked with restoring the Evertree and bringing life back to its countless world. Tend to newly crafted worlds, interact with charming characters, and uncover hidden ruins in mysterious areas, all while watching your choices shape the environment and witnessing the Evertree flourish under your care. It's a 78 on OpenCritic, trophy difficulty around 2 out of 10, and about 20 hours to platinum. Alright, that's it for today's list, everybody. If you've played any of these already, drop your thoughts in the comments. Your insights help others find great games too, it's not just mine. As always, I want to thank all my channel members for their generous support, but to all you out there who watch, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff as well, thank you. You're the reason I'm still having fun making all these videos every day, and I'm genuinely grateful for each and every one of you out there. If you can spare $1 a month, you get early access to all my videos, and it helps me out more than you know. But I know times are tough out there, so all I do ask is if you enjoyed the video, hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with any new sales stuff that I put out. Leave a like and comment down below if you've got any of these platinums or plan on going for any of them.